Hi there and welcome to today's online intermediate Pilates session with me, Sue. Joining me today we have Nadine and we have Hannah. Hannah's going to be demonstrating the modifications, so if you need an easier modification at any point during the class, you can watch Hannah for that. Have your water bottle and a hand towel close by if you need it, and if you need to pause the video at any point to take a little break, feel free to go ahead and do that. Alright, so we're going to be starting by already facing towards our mats, so you can just turn yourself so that you're facing your mat with a little runway of mat in front of your body, feet hip width apart, and then standing tall through the spine, taking a moment to let that weight settle down through the feet. We're going to inhale, stretch the arms up overhead. And exhale, you're going to float your arms back down by your sides, keeping the chest open. Nod your chin forward, feel the stretch through the back of the neck before we softly bend into our knees, breathing in. Exhale, start to round the spine. We're going to roll our way down towards the floor, sinking as low as you feel comfortable into that stretch, stretching through the back of the body. Take a deep breath. On the exhale, we draw navel to spine and start to curl our way back up, stacking one vertebra up on top of the next, all the way until the head lifts. We lengthen up tall, and one more time, inhale, take the arms up overhead. Exhale, float arms back down by your sides. Nod the chin forward, soften the knees. For our second roll down, imagine your head was very heavy and it's leading you down towards your mat. Just stretch out the whole back line of your body, sinking down into that stretch. We're going to stay and do an alternating hamstring stretch. If your hands are touching the floor, keep them there. Let your right knee bend slightly more as you straighten the back of your left leg as much as you can. And then we'll switch, letting the left one bend, straightening into the right leg. Try to keep both heels pressing into the mat. Let's do one more each side, with or without the hands touching down onto the floor. And switch. And then let both of the knees bend, like a fairly deep bend into the knees. Slide your hands up onto your thighs, fingers facing in, elbows facing out. We're going to push into the arms to lengthen out the spine. So you'll have to lift your head, your chest, and your shoulders just to try and flatten your back out, and you'll be looking straight down at the floor. From here, we're going to do a standing cat-cow. So inhale, prepare. Exhale, tuck the tails in, round your spine, nod the chin forward so that you're looking in at your own thighs and pulling up through your tummy muscles. As we lengthen out, go back to pushing into the arms, maybe starting to feel like you can tilt your tailbone up and lift your gaze. Inhale. Exhale 2 more times, round the spine, in and up through the abdominal muscles to stretch out your lower back. Lengthen out. Thinking about trying to arch your spine in this position, opening through the chest. And one more time, rounding into cat stretch. And lengthening out, going into that slightly arched position to your back. And then just fold forward from your hips, slide your hands back down towards the floor. Let your neck lengthen as you breathe in. Exhale, we'll tuck the tails back in again, press down into your toes and start to curl your way back up through your spines, one vertebra at a time, all the way till we've unraveled and we're standing nice and tall. We're going to step the right foot forward into a lunge from here. So right foot goes out in front of you. Make sure that foot is facing forward, your right knee is over your foot, and we're going to keep the right knee slightly bent. Then just to keep tabs of our spine, we're going to place one hand in the lower back, one hand on the belly button, so that you can feel your neutral spine. We're going to lean forward from there, keeping the spine neutral. All the weight goes into your right leg, so make your right leg feel nice and strong. Your back left leg becomes so light that it's hovering just off the mat. It's a nice straight leg, and now from that left bum cheek, you're going to lift your left leg up and lower it down to lightly touch the floor. Lift and tap. If you feel uncomfortable with your hands on your waist, you're welcome to just hold your hips instead. And down. We're going to go for 8. Tap. 7. Tap. Everything else nice and still. Last 5 and 4. Remember to keep breathing. And 3. Draw the navel to the spine. Last 1 and tap. Now we're going to keep the weight in the right leg so that as you press to straighten your right leg, you can bring your left leg into a little tabletop position in front of that hip. So we're in a little flamingo position. You can either keep your hands holding your waist or hands to the hips as Hannah is doing. All right, once we've found our balance here, we're going to do little pulses with that knee going up to the ceiling for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to transition between the two positions, trying not to put any weight in your left foot. Bend the right knee, your body goes forward, your left leg goes back, maybe lightly touching the floor if you need it to. Before then pressing back up into your flamingo, straighten your right leg, squeeze your right bum cheek, and we go again. Hinge forward, taking the left leg back on the inhale breath. Exhale, lift everything back up again, top of the head reaching for the ceiling. Let's go for 4, breathing in. If you do lose your balance, it's totally fine. Just come back, join us again, and lift. And 3 more. Your supporting leg should be working hard. You're going to start to feel things waking up. And I've lost count. Do we have 2 more? 2 more. Take it back, and lift. 1 more time, take it back, and lift. And now on this last one, you're going to take it back and you're going to step into that foot so that we can step back to the back edge of our mat. Okay, legs nice and warm. We're going to do the other leg, okay? If you want to switch your hands around, if you're starting to get a little bored with that one position. Okay, so we're going to step forward now with our left foot. Left leg goes forward into your lunge. You always want to be very mindful of that position of your knee. Make sure it's over your foot. Lean the body forward. Bring the weight into your left leg. Let your right leg become light. That right hip is still facing down. The leg is just going straight up, like someone had a little string on your heel to lift the leg, and then lower it back down. And we lift. You can touch the mat in between, or you can just come to a little hover. And we go for another 7. And 6. Good. 5. Your eyes will be looking at the floor somewhere just ahead of your mat. 3, 2, 1 more time. Let's transition into the flamingo, straightening your left leg, bringing your right leg out in front of you and lengthening up tall through your spine. Once we've found our balance, we do our little pulses. There, we got it. Okay, and we pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to transition as you bend the left knee, you straighten the right one back behind you, and you hinge your body forward. We lift the body, straighten the left leg, bring the right one out in front. Inhale as you take it back, like you were going to go into a lunge, but then you change your mind and you come back to stand. You squeeze the left bum cheek as you lift. We go for 4, and we lift. We go for 3. Good, feeling that supporting leg warming up, fighting for your balance for 2, and lift. 1 more time like this. We step back, we come back into flamingo, and then we're going to step back to step onto the foot and bring the feet together. Well done. All right, you can relax your arms, turn yourself around, and we're going to place one foot, actually you can stay facing this way, there we go, all right. We're going to place one foot just behind the other so that you're in a little curtsy position to come all the way down to your mat. If you need to use your hands, please use your hands so that there's no injuries as we come down, all right. We're going to straighten the legs out in front of us, 2 straight legs. Make sure you've got some space behind you because we are going to be rolling all the way back. Arms coming out in front. If you struggle with a roll-up, you can watch Hannah. She's going to pop a towel just underneath her lower back, and that's just going to give you a little bit of support for the lower back if you need it. We're sitting nice and tall, shoulders over the hips as you inhale. Exhale, start to round the spine backwards as if someone had pushed a big ball into your tummy. We're going to roll just 1/4 of the way down to start with, so don't go all the way, and then pause somewhere that you can hold it. We're going to flip the right hand palm facing up, and as that right arm sweeps out to the side, you're going to watch the hand, and you're going to stretch it back behind you into a little rotation. Exhale, come forward. Let's go the other way. Inhale, rotate to the left. Exhale, come forward. And now we'll take one more breath And then we're ready to finish that roll down into your mat, stretching yourself out, head down, arms go back. We're aiming the thumbs for the floor behind us. Just make sure you're not flaring your ribs. You're just taking the arms back. Lift your arms over your chest. Breathe in, curl head and shoulders up, and then we're going to peel up from there, trying to keep the legs down. We're going to stop with the shoulders just over the hips, and we're keeping that kind of C curve to the spine. Inhale. Exhale, go down to your quarter of the way down mark. The lower you go, the harder this is, so you can choose how low you want to be. Flip the right palm to face up. Inhale, let's twist to the right, like you're reaching for something in the right corner of the room. Exhale, face forward. Twist to the left. Breathing in, open up your ribcage. Exhale, come back to center. Pause for a breath in the center, and then let's roll all the way down on that exhale. Make sure that you are breathing while you do this. Arms go back. Even if you're not breathing in the same time that we are, that's fine. Just keep your breath flowing. Arms are gonna lift. Curl your head and shoulders up, and then exhale to peel the rest of the way up through your spine. Shoulders just over the hips, and you can move the towel out of the way if you were using the towel, because we will have assistance on the next one. Breathe in. Exhale, curl back to your little quarter roll back position. We're going to do those rotations one more time. Right hand, and we're going to twist on the inhale. Exhale, come forward again. Remember to keep your tailbone tucked. Lower abdominal muscles are tucking the pelvis in, and we hold. We are all going to bring our right leg into a little tabletop, hold the back of the thigh. So this leg will give you some control. We're going to roll down until your shoulder blades almost touch the mat. So you're in a nice high chest lift position with your lower back anchored into the mat. Place your hands on the top of your right knee, and my arms are quite strong here. I'm pulling through the arms. My left leg, which is still straight, is going to lift until the toes are kind of in line with each other. Then your upper body stays. Pull your abs in and switch your legs. Grab the left one. And we're going to go right and left. Lovely. Right and left. We're going for 5 each leg, and 4. Make sure it's a nice clean movement with the legs, and we got 2 more each leg. Stay with me. Keep breathing. 1 more. Then bring both legs to tabletop and squeeze those legs together. Your legs are going to stay in tabletop. Your arms are going to release, palms facing down. Then take the shoulders and the head down to the mat. Find your neutral spine before stretching your arms back behind you. Take a deep breath in. Start to lift the arms, tip them towards the knees, curl your head and shoulders back up, and we pause. If your lower back isn't secure against the mat, use your hands just to help wiggle yourself into place. We're going to do hundreds here. If your neck doesn't like it, 1 hand behind your head and just pump the other arm. Hannah will demonstrate. Breathe in to prepare, and we're going to exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Keep the height of your lift. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Squeeze your legs. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Keep it calm. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. You got it. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. We got 2 more. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Last one. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 2, 4, 5. Hold. Separate your legs to hip width. Place your right foot down. Place your left foot down. Take your shoulders and your head down. Stretch your arms all the way back behind you. Well done. If your head isn't on the mat and you've just realized that, this is the time to do the worm and bring yourself down to bring your head onto the mat. And then we're going to bring the arms down next to the body. Palms of the hands facing down. You're going to press into the back of the arms, broaden through the chest. And if you tuck your chin in, like you're trying to give yourself a double chin, you'll feel the back of your neck lengthen out nicely. And from here, we're going to hold our neutral spine. So normally for a pelvic curl in Pilates, we would articulate the spine, but we're not going to do that today. So just for the first one, actually, I'm going to say let's use our hands just to double check. So 1 hand in the lower back, 1 hand on the belly button, just like we did earlier when we were doing our leg lifts. So you're going to keep your spine in this position. Your lower back will never touch the mat. You're just going to push straight down into your legs and hinge your hips up into the sky, into your bridge, and then hinge back down again without squashing that hand that's in your lower back. You can adjust the position of the feet if you need to. They're about hip width and parallel. And again, hinging up, squeezing into the glutes, hinging down. All right, now we know what that feels like. You can put your arms back down, press into the back of the arms. Exhale, hinge up, squeeze the glutes. Hinge down, so you're just landing your pelvis down without rolling through the spine. Let's go for 6. Lift and down. Exhale for 5 and down. Exhale for 4 and down. Good for 3. So you're just literally hinging from your pelvis, keeping your spine in position. One more time, let's hinge up and pause here. We're gonna stay in this position. Keep the hips high, keep squeezing the glutes. Make sure your neck is comfortable, and then dig your heels into the mat and curl your toes up off the floor as high as they'll go. So we're flexing the ankles. If you need to adjust your feet, you're welcome to do that. Keep the flexed ankle position like you're trying to crease the front of your ankle, and then baby pulses up with your hips to the sky for 10. 9, you're trying to deepen the stretch over your hips for 7. 6, 5, we're still squeezing those glutes. We go for 3, 2, 1 more, and then try to keep it there. So you're at like a new height with the pelvis. Place the toes back down on the floor. Super glue your feet into the mat, and imagine you're trying to pull your feet towards your body. So you feel your hamstrings switch on. We're gonna hold that position as the arms go up to the ceiling. Stretch the arms back behind you to land the back of the hands on the floor. You can bend your elbows if you need it. Now we're gonna do what we've been resisting the whole time. We're gonna melt the spine. So we're gonna inhale, and now we're gonna roll down to stretch it out. So you drop your ribs first, then you roll through your mid-back, you roll through your lower back, you land your pelvis, and you relax back to neutral, and that probably felt amazing. Okay, let's go arms up to the ceiling. Take a breath. Tip the arms forward to the knees. Curl your head and shoulders back up. Coming into our chest lift. We're going to keep the height of the chest lift. Flip the palms, sweep your arms around, and then interlace the fingers behind the back of your head without losing any of that height that you found in your chest lift. Your hands are just supporting your neck. We're going to add a rotation. Think about lifting your left shoulder up over your right shoulder, and that's what's going to tip you over to the side to look just past your thigh, or the other way. It doesn't really matter. We're going to do the other side, and then we come center and we tip the other way. Good, and center. While you're doing this, focus on keeping your legs and your hips still. It's just the upper half of the body. Twisting one way and twisting the other. We're going to do 2 more each way. Keep a little bit of space between the chin and the chest. Sorry, I think I just hit the mic. And center. And over to the other side. Elbows stay just in your peripheral vision. We got 1 more. Tip to the right. Inhale, center. Tip to the left. Come back to center for a breath. And then exhale, lengthen everything back down with the head resting in your hands. Walk your feet and your knees in towards each other so that we can squeeze the legs together. So inner thighs are now super glued together. I'm still in a neutral spine. Inhale, expand through your rib cage, and use your exhale to curl your head and shoulders back up over the ribs, coming up to look at your knees. Now the upper half of your body is going to stay completely still, and we're going to move the lower half of the body. So as you tilt your pelvis over to the right, your left foot and your left hip are going to lift off the mat, but your upper body doesn't move. It's like a little satellite dish. Squeeze the legs together, come back to center. Tilt the pelvis over to the left, lift the right hip and the right foot. Good, so it's like a mini spine twist, but with the chest lift. So you should feel all of the abdominals. Everything is working. And center. Good, and tilt the pelvis. And center. Let's go for 2 more each way. Keep squeezing the inner thighs. Try to stay as high off your shoulder blades as possible. You almost want to feel like your shoulder blades aren't even touching the mat. 1 more time. And center. Remember, the upper body hasn't moved. Bring it back to center for a breath. Lengthen everything back down towards your mat. Okay, take a little moment here, because we're going to combine that. Okay, we're going to put it all together. Breathing in, expand the rib cage. Exhale, curl the head and the shoulders back up. So in your chest lift position as high as you can be. Let your feet feel quite light on the mat though. I'm not pushing my feet into the floor. Feet are nice and light. We're going to start by rotating the upper body towards the right. So lift your left shoulder blade over your right one, tip towards the right. Now keep your upper body there and tilt your pelvis towards the left. So you're gonna lift your right bum cheek and your right foot off the floor to twist the knees over to the left. So you've gone into a full spiral with your spine. Exhale, draw everything back to center. Tilt your upper body to the left, tilt your lower body to the right. Lift your left bum cheek off the mat. Exhale, bring it all back to center. How are we doing? Are we feeling abs? Okay, let's just feel that spiral in the spine. Come back to the center. Spiral over. Stay with me, ladies. We are getting near the end. We've just got one more each way. Breathe in, upper body to the right, lower body to the left. Remember to stay high in that chest lift. We're trying to stay off the shoulder blades as much as possible. Before bringing it home to the center, pause, reach the arms out in front of you as you inhale, so that as we lengthen back down, we can stretch those arms all the way back behind us. Give yourself a nice stretch through those abdominal muscles, and then open your feet and knees back to your hip width parallel position. Bring your arms back down onto the mat next to you, palms facing down, broadening through the chest as you press into the back of the arms. Stabilize your pelvis, so use your abdominal muscles to feel like your center stays still as you bring right leg to the tabletop position. We're going to straighten out our right knee, foot to the ceiling. If you need to keep a little bend in your knee, you're welcome to do that. It's a pointed ankle as that leg hinges down towards the floor. Just before it touches the floor, flex your ankle and then kick the leg back up to the ceiling for a nice active hamstring stretch. Point, inhale down, flex, exhale, lift. One more time, point, inhale down, flex, exhale, lift. Bend that leg back to tabletop, and we're going to keep it there. We're going to go for a single leg pelvic curl. So your left leg needs to be in the right spot for that. If you need to adjust where your foot is, go ahead. Tuck the chins in to protect the neck. Now we are going to articulate the spine. So like a traditional Pilates pelvic curl, we're going to inhale. As you exhale, tuck the tailbones in, let your lower back press into the mat before slowly peeling that spine away from the mat. As you go up, think about your right knee trying to touch the ceiling so that you know your right hip is lifting with you. Your left bum cheek is squeezing. Breathe in. Exhale, slowly melts back down, but your right leg is almost trying to stay behind. Keep that feeling of your knee trying to touch the ceiling even though you're coming back down onto your mat. Land your pelvis, come back to neutral. Let's do it one more time. We're going to add the leg pull onto the next one. Exhale, tuck tails. Peel up through the lower back, through the mid back, little bit of the upper back, but just make sure the weight is in your shoulders rather than your neck. Hold, straighten your right knee. The ankle is pointed as that leg goes down, as low as you can get it to go that your hip doesn't drop, so it doesn't have to touch the floor. And then flex on the way up. Point down, flex up. Let's go for 3, and we go down, and lift, and 2, and lift, and 1, and lift. And then bend the knee to tabletop, place the foot on the mat. Realign your hips to the ceiling as you breathe in, and then exhale, roll down nice and easy through the spine. Land your pelvis, relax back to neutral, and then stabilize your neutral pelvis. Bring your left leg to tabletop. We straighten out the left knee as much as we can, still fighting for that neutral position in your spine. So when you straighten the knee, just make sure you're not forcing your lower back into the mat. Keep the ankle pointed as you lower the leg down to the floor. Flex the ankle as you lift it back up to stand on the ceiling. Inhale down, exhale lift. One more time, inhale down. Exhale, lift. Well done. We're going to bend it back to tabletop. So now we're doing that single leg pelvic curl with the right leg doing all the work. Make sure it's in a good spot. Breathe in. On the exhale, tuck the tails in, lift the pelvis. As you roll up, you're thinking about your left knee traveling up towards the ceiling to make sure your left hip is coming up with you and not staying behind. Breathe in. Exhale, roll back down through the spine. You still want to come down straight down through the spine, even though you've only got one leg working. Relax back to neutral, and then we do it one more time. Shoulders out the ears, breathe in. Tuck tails in. Roll it up through the spine. Come into your bridge position. Are we ready? Let's straighten that knee with a pointed ankle. Inhale down. Flex and lift. And we go down. And we lift. 3 more. Down. Good. Lift and 2. Lift. Last 1. Lift. Bend the knee. Place the foot back down. Realign your hips to the ceiling, breathe in. Exhale, slowly melt down through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Land your pelvis, relax back to neutral before hugging both knees up into your chest. Well done. Let's give them a little squeeze. They deserve a hug. You can rock the legs slightly from side to side if that feels comfortable for your back. And then we're going to place our hands behind our knees, so kind of hooked onto your thighs. Curl your head and your shoulders up to come up and look at your knees. Lower back anchored into the mat. Bring your legs into tabletop, so knees over the hips. Then right hand on your right knee, left hand on your left knee. Arms nice and strong, getting ready for your double leg stretch. So the legs are squeezing together. Keep your upper body lifted. Release the legs to reach out to 45 degrees. You can just do this if you want, or you can add the arms. Sweep them back as far as they'll go. Circle the arms around, re-grab your knees. Inhale, we reach. Exhale, we circle. Lovely, let's go for 6. Get those abs nice and warm. Keep the chest high. We go for 4. For 3. Good, follow Hannah if you don't want to do the arms. For 2. One more time. Hook the hands on the back of the knees. You're going to tip up, but without letting your feet touch the floor. So just enough momentum to stop before your feet touch the floor. Yes, nice. Nobody's feet touched. We're going to bring the feet in a little closer so that you can wrap your hands around onto your shins. Shins or ankles. You're going to drop the chin to look in towards your thighs. We're getting ready for rolling like a ball. If you have quite a thin mat at home, this can feel a little uncomfortable on your spine. So just make sure that you have enough cushioning underneath your body before you start rolling. You keep the shape of the spine, you draw your abs in, and then when you're ready, it should feel weightless. You just roll back to your shoulder blades. And then exhale, come back to your little perch. Nice, inhale back. Exhale up. Let's go for 4. Make sure you're breathing. For 3. It's okay if your head touches the floor. Just make sure you're not smacking your neck into the floor. The weight goes to the shoulders. Let's do one more. Love it. Okay, and then we hold. Okay, when we come back to it. All right, from there we're going to add a little roll over onto it. So just watch the first one because you don't want to be twisting your head when you're trying to do it. But it's going to look like this. I'm going to do a rolling like a ball, but I'm going to release my arms so that my arms can push down and my legs can go over my face. I can say hi to my knees. As soon as I start to tip back though, I bend the knees, release the arms, and come back to a rolling like a ball position. All right, try to really straighten those legs up over your head. And we're ready. Inhale, we go back. Use the arms, straighten the knees, and then bend and catch. You can go in your own time, rolling. Just make sure your breath is flowing and you're in control of the movement the whole time. Nice. So if you're doing this at home, it should be completely soundless. There's no smacking of things into the mat. It all feels smooth. Let's go for 2. Last one. All right, we've got one more transition to add onto that. Again, you can watch me for the first one, and then you're gonna go ahead and do it. All right, so I do the same thing. I roll back, I take those legs. Now I'm gonna use the momentum of the swing coming back to help me stand up. Separate your legs to hip width, roll down, plant the feet, stand up. Okay, if you struggle to get up, use your hands to push you up. Same thing on the way down. If you want to use your hands before rolling back, you can use your hands. If you don't need to use your hands though, we just go hands out. Be aware of not doing this when you come up, okay? Try to keep the knees apart. All right, are we ready? Yes. I mean, let's just go. Let's see what happens. Okay, and we roll. And we stand. Yes. And we bend to come down and roll. Good, and stand. And just have fun with it. A little bit of cardio in your Pilates. You didn't see that coming. And up. Let's go for 4. for 3. Good, stay with us. I can see you at home. For 2. Last 1. And then stay. Well done. All right, let's walk back a little bit on the mat. All right, coming towards the back edges of our mats, we're just going to take a step forward to lunge down and then come onto hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. You've lengthened out into a neutral spine, taking a moment to catch our breath. You're going to lean into the hand that's closest to your camera, whichever hand that is. Take the other arm out to the side of the room. We're going to thread the needle, taking that hand past your wrist, palm facing up. Keep reaching, reaching, reaching till you're down on your shoulder and the side of your head. We're going to stay pushing into that hand that's in front of your head for balance. And you're going to lean into the knee that is on the other side of your body. So the knee on the side that you are not looking, so that the leg on the same side as you're looking can slide back. So it's a straight leg. Nice. Now just be aware of your balance for this one. Don't go too high on the first one. You're going to lift that leg from your bum cheek as high up to the ceiling as you can that you don't feel like you're going to tip over. And then lower it back down. We're going to do 2 more. We're going to lift, keeping our balance. Now I just want you to feel that stretch over your hip as you lift. Last one. And down. Slide the knee back in under your body. Get weight onto both of your knees again. Take a deep breath. And then push into your hand to unravel yourself back to where you came from. And then we'll do the other side. Lean into the other hand. Free the other arm. Slide it in past your wrists. Just keep reaching like you're reaching for something underneath your couch, a lost sock. And then we're going to push down into that one hand, and the leg on the same side you are looking is going to slide back behind you. A straight knee, and then we lift from the hip towards the ceiling, and we tap it back down. 2 more. Lift. Draw your abs in. Use that one arm that's on the mat. One more time. Lift. Bring it down, glide the knee back in underneath your body, push into both of the knees, and then as you exhale, press into your arm and lift yourself all the way back up. Walk yourself towards the front edge of your mat, more or less. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and then tuck your toes in. You're going to have a slight tuck of the tailbone, draw the abdominal muscles in, and slide one leg back. Make that one leg feel really strong and solid so that the leg that's still on the mat just kind of becomes light before you slide it back to join, and you end up in your full plank position. You're going to hold this shape to your spine, untuck your right toes and just glide your right knee in underneath your hip. And then step it back. Untuck the left toes, glide it in. Step it back, nothing else moves, glide in. Step it back, lovely, glide in. Give me 2 more each leg. Remember to keep breathing. Other leg. Well done. Looking good, ladies. 1 more. And back. And glide. And back. We're in a full plank. Now, if you want to put your knees down, you're welcome to. Hannah can do that. There we go. Otherwise, we are thinking of doing just the slowest push up in the world, but it's going to take you all the way to the floor. We're going down to the count of 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can collapse down onto your mat. Well done. Okay, bend the elbows, bring your hands in underneath your forehead. So I'm looking straight down at my own hands. We're going to walk the legs in towards each other, rotate the heels in towards each other, and then squeeze your legs together. So we're fusing the legs into one. Draw the abdominal muscles in and up. Let your pelvis press down into the mat. You can rest your head on your hands, or you can keep it slightly lifted, looking just over the top of your hands. We're going to keep the legs squeezing. You're going to straighten your knees and then hover the legs just up off the mat. You're trying to lift your knees and a little bit of thigh off the mat. We keep that hover, so imagine a little lizard sleeping on your mat just underneath your kneecaps. Don't squash him, but bend both of the knees, still trying to keep them squeezing together. Bend them to 90, and then 3 little pulses in the back of your knees. 1, 2, 3, and then stretch the legs back without squashing the lizard. And we bend and pulse. 3, 2, 1, and reach. Good, bend and pulse. 3, 2, 1, and reach. Let's go for 4 more. 3, 2, 1, and reach. 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Lovely, reach. Last 2, 3, 2, 1. Are your lizards still alive at home? And we go 3, 2, and 1. Take it back, 2 straight legs, and then separate your legs slightly so that we've got room to do little beats. So we're going to clap the legs together. They're still in the air, and they're going to clap together for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, and again for 10, 9, 8, then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, one more set. We go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and squeeze the legs together before lowering them all the way down to the floor. Slide under your shoulders. Slowly push yourself up. You can open out your knees, feet touch, press back into your rest position to stretch out your back. Hold it for 2 deep breaths. Before curling back up again, sliding back onto your tummy. We're not done with our back just yet. So we're going to come down, nose hovering just off the mat. Have your legs about hip width apart, so I've got a little bit of space between my legs. Slide your left hand in underneath your nose. You can push slightly into that left arm to keep your head lifted. Right arm reaching back. You're going to bend your right knee and grab onto that foot. If you struggle to grab the foot, you can also just hold onto your pants. There's also an option, or your sock if you're wearing a sock. Okay, so I've opened up through my right shoulder. Draw the tummy muscles in and feel your pelvis push down into the mat. Try to avoid bending your right elbow and pulling your foot into your bum. We don't want to squash the knee. You want to keep the arm straight and actually think about getting your knee as far away from your bum as possible, even though we're holding it. And then from there, activate into that leg so that your knee and your thigh start to lift. Squeeze your bum cheek and then try to get your foot to go up to the ceiling. As your leg pulls up to the ceiling, it is going to pull on your arm, which is going to make your chest lift a little bit. And then you're going to relax back down. Let's go for 3. Breathing in, you lift as high as you can that your hip stays down. So it might just be like a millimeter off the mat. That's fine. 2 more. Breathe in. And down. 1 more time. Breathe in. And down. Carefully release the foot so that your leg can straighten. Switch your arms. Right hand under the head, left hand is holding your foot or your pants. Make sure your legs are still just parallel to one another. You don't want to open your knee out to the side of the room. Draw your tummy muscles in, push the pelvis down. This might already be enough stretch for you. This is already a little bit of a hip flexor stretch, so you go to your maximum. If you want to activate the leg, squeeze the glute, lift the thigh. And then that pull from the leg is going to pull on your upper body to lift you. And then back down. So all the work is in my leg. Maybe a little bit of work in that right arm that's pushing into the mat. 3 more. And down. 2 more. Lift. Stunning and down. Last one. Lift. And down. Release the leg back behind you. Open your legs out towards sort of the edges of your mat, turning the knees to face out to the sides of the room. And bring your arms into a nice narrow goalpost position next to your body with the elbows touch the floor. Through your upper back, start to lift your chest. And then when you absolutely need to, start to push into the arms to help you, and you go up as high as you feel comfortable. You don't have to straighten the arms if you don't want to. Then activate your legs so that as soon as your upper body goes down, your legs start to lift like a little rocking motion. Breathe in as the upper body lifts and the legs go down. Exhale, activate those legs, squeeze the bum cheeks to lift them up to the ceiling. Breathe in, upper body lifts. Let's go for 4. And down. And 3. And feel that rocking motion through your body and down. Last 2. And down, lovely. 1 more time, breathing in. And then this time you can let your legs relax and just let your body come down towards the floor. Hands already under the shoulders to help push you up. Come into a 4-point kneeling position. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Tuck your toes in behind you. Press your sitting bones up towards the ceiling into a downward dog. And then once you're looking at your feet, walk your hands backwards towards your feet. Bend the knees if you need to, so that we can hang in a forward fold. Let your back stretch, let your neck lengthen. Gently shake your head from side to side, saying no thank you. We're done with Pilates for now. And then center your head again. Try to shift the weight forward into your toes. Take a deep breath. And then tuck the tail round the spine and slowly curl up. We're using this as your stretch. So let your spine stretch on the way up. One vertebra stacking on top of the next. Until we are standing. All right. Well done. Thanks, ladies. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed.